Stories. They are simple things that almost every human can write, at least on some level. But stories are more than simple words on a piece of paper. In an essence, stories have souls themselves. People can become inspired. They can be driven to create by the power of a story. And when a story concludes in a way that the author did not intend, that was simply the same way as a life being snuffed out before its time. This is the case that we see with the... Really? Ah, oh, damn it. I'm sorry. I know you're on a roll. I pushed a button by accident. How do I go back? God, okay. Okay, you press the button with the backward arrow and... Okay, wait, no, I got it. Shit. Look, I'm sorry, man. I know I keep fucking this up. No, I don't care. Just hit random, okay? We gotta get this done before the lighting is just hit random, okay? Go. Okay. And thus, the story of Bleach will conclude... I'm sorry, I just can't do this. You're a massive fuck-up all around. I just can't. What the hell is the name of that song, anyway? Well, I don't know if this is the song name, but it says right here this is foreshadowing, but yeah, I don't know what that means. Yeah, well, whatever it's called. The intro's scrapped, it's over. The intro of the last Bleach review, and you had to fuck it up. I'd say it's one pressed for time, personally. But that's just me. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here. Well, we all know that what this is, so there's really no point in me having a dramatic opening. Fuck, I live on dramatic openings. This is the Tekking101 Final Bleach Review Extravaganza! I'm not wearing pants right now. Yeah. Look, before we get into this, let me just say that obviously this final review's gone through a lot of different phases, you know, or for planning. You know, I've been thinking about this for fucking years. Pretty much as soon as I started reviewing Bleach, I thought about, well, what would happen if I end up reviewing it all the way to the end? What's gonna happen then? And it's gone through a lot of different phases. Honestly, at this point, I thought I would have like a way bigger budget to work with, so I was throwing out like crazy random ideas, like we're gonna have like a giant robot fight or some shit. Obviously, that's not going to be the way it's going to go. More realistically, closer to the end of Bleach, pretty much around the time it was announced that it was going to be ending, I decided, you know what, I'm going to play the depressed angle. I'm going to go with it like, guys, it's been a long ride, and I love you all, but the series is over now. And you know what? I've already done that, by the way. The last few reviews, as you can tell, I've been kind of melancholy as shit. All the other reviewers, at least most of them, have been sort of like a little bit bummed out. The entire fandom's kind of bummed out. So you know what? I said, you know what? Let's scrap that. Let's not go full freaking, you know, I mean, you're still gonna cry in this review. You're still gonna fucking cry, I can assure you of that. But for the most part, let's look at it this way. This series has been in serialization for 15 fucking years. 15 years. I was fucking 8 years old when this series started. I'm 23 now. And I think all of us, I mean, especially if you've been watching me up to this point, I think anyone that's been a diehard fan of the series to, you know, read the manga on a weekly basis and, you know, watch my reviews of it and all the other reviewers, at this point, you have to have some good memories from Bleach. And I'm not just talking about how, oh yeah, that time Ichigo defeated Grimmjow, that was fucking epic. I mean, yeah, you have your own favorite scenes in the story as well, but I'm sure at least every one of us has at least one story in our life where Bleach meant more than just the story. Maybe something interesting happened through the story, where you met somebody, or you did something, or something interesting happened, or maybe the series itself inspired you to go and start your own story, or get you interested in manga or comic books or something like that. I don't know. Like, let me give you an example from my personal life, all right? And this is going deep right here. So, when I was in high school, I used to bring my manga volumes with me to school, usually 2. I would, you know, cram into my backpack every morning before school that I could read, you know, after I get done with my classwork, the teachers would give you time to do whatever, and while everyone else was spending texting or sleeping or in study hall or whatever, well, I slept too in study hall, but, you know, I would take out my volumes of Bleach or Death Note or One Piece or Naruto, and I would read them until I had to go to my next class. And one day in math class, I'm sitting there, and I remember the volume. It was volume 32 I was reading. And there was a girl that sat behind me that was a fan of Bleach, and we became friends. And that is right there. That's exactly how that story ends. We'll just refer to her as Manga Girl at this point. Okay, with that all being said, I think it's about time we get ready to review the final chapter. We're getting right into this. Goodbye, Bleach. We'll always miss... Wait, what the fuck? Wait, goodbye, Blake? What the fuck is Blake? Huh? Oh, yeah, that. Well, I was the one that drew the banner, and at the beginning it was a lot of fun. I was really excited, but by the end I was just kind of like, fuck it. Was that supposed to be like a metaphor you were doing there, or... no. I don't believe it is. Okay, then. Well... Let's get right into it. This will be Bleach Chapter 686 review, titled Death and Strawberry. Alright, so the chapter opens up with Jesus Christ! What? No. The chapter does not start off with Jesus Christ. Because if that was the case, the series would come back after 3 days. Whatever. Anyway, no, the chapter starts off with this. This kid with these empty, emotionless eyes just staring at you. It just sears the soul to the core. Damn. I want you to look into these. Seriously, look into these. In these eyes reflect every single travesty that mankind has ever committed. Remember Ulquiorra? Ulquiorra, during his flashback when, he was dreaming about when he was a Vasto Lorde, and he was, like, journeying through the empty void of Huecamundo, he was like, the things reflected in these eyes have no meaning. This is the shit he was talking about! Man, every single Bleach fan that saw this, Kubo included, right after he drew it, we all now have our fates inextricably linked together now. And that fate is this. Decades from now, when we are all lying on our respective deathbeds all around the world, with our family and friends gathering around us, and we're sitting there, right about to pass on, right as we shut our eyes, the last glimmer of light from this mortal coil that we are going to see are these fucking eyes staring right back at us as we get sucked in to the endless nothingness of death. Or one of these afterlives, if you believe in that. But that doesn't change the fact that these things are going to be the last things we see. Get used to them. Okay, well, anyway, those empty void eyes belong to this little kid who's just wandering around the visored hideout. Hiyori steps out and begins yelling at the kid, like, what the hell are you doing here? How'd you even get in here anyway? Oh my god, Hiyori, it's been like 10 years. Actually, it's been like 110 years since you've lived in the world of the living. Clean up your fucking house. I mean, you guys can't... I mean, I understand you're like the visors are like a big group, but at this point, could you guys go all out and get like you guys have to have jobs, right? Like Hiyori, Lisa buys her freaking porno mags, and Love buys all the manga. Rose looks like the kind of guy that, has to buy a bunch of musical instruments. Where's the money coming from? Can you not afford a decent house to live in? You gotta live in the shitty fucking warehouse on the edge of town where you gotta worry about getting shot on a nightly basis? Damn. Also, little touch is that Hiyori is wearing an unagi hat from Ikumi, Ichigo's boss, who will be, spoiler alert, not seen in this chapter, along with these following characters. Oh god damn, this is a long list. How about a joke? Let's see here, a joke. Okay, two necrophiliacs are walking down the street and they pass a morgue. One necrophiliac says to the other necrophiliac, hey, you want to step in for a couple of cold ones? Yeah. Alright, so anyway, the little kid apparently runs off and escapes Hiyori's bitch ramblings when we get the title page of the chapter. And we see a full-page spread where we see Ichigo, age 27, grown up with all of his friends and his family. His sisters, Karin and Yuzu, are there. Yuzu apparently rocking the platinum blonde look. Okay, that's fine. We see Mizurio, Keigo's doing like a dive bomb. Rukia's there with her longer hair. Renji's there, or Hime's there. Uryu's behind him. Chad's there. Yeah, so, it's a pretty awesome cover page, I have to say. I have no problems with that. It was the title page of the last chapter. You done good, Kubo. You done good. Bump it. Alrighty, so, chapter continues on. If you remember last chapter, we had a little bit of a cliffhanger where Akon detected that the shadow of Yhwach was being, the Ryatsu that Yhwach emitted 10 years ago was appearing in the Seirete. Well, we have Byakuya here all heading to the scene, which is good, because Byakuya didn't really get any screen time last chapter. I was honestly a little bit, depressed about all that. Oh man, Byakuya, what are we gonna get? But no, he appears in the last chapters, that's something cool. One random member of, I guess, Squad 6 or Squad 2 or whoever is giving him the briefing on it, oh, it's the area that's undergoing the final, it's the last area of the Seirete that hasn't been reconstructed since the attack, the last little part of it, and Byakuya is heading there when we get Soifone also arriving. God damn it, really? All these characters that you don't have in this chapter, and you go with Soifone as the character that, oh yeah, we gotta have her here. You know what? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Swap out Soifone for somebody else. I don't care. Just pick some random Lisa. Swap her out for Lisa. Boom! Okay, Lisa Yodomaru arrives on the scene and, explains to Byakuya, is like, oh, yeah, blah, 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 Yuha's Ryatsu's here, whatever. So they arrive on the scene. Mayuri's already there, examining the area. And, he has his typical Mayuri thing, like, I don't remember informing anyone of this incident, blah, blah, blah. You'll find out that I'm rushing a little bit, but the last chapter, it doesn't do much better. So right as they arrive on the scene, Yuha's Ryatsu, eyeballs and all, begin to just erupt from the scene in this huge freaking plume of shadow. Some major shit's gonna go down here. Damn. Maybe Yuha's gonna come back and wage war against all the members of the Gotei 13. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool, right? Yeah, and then Ichigo's gonna have to come out of retirement and go and fight him, and then we're gonna go into the sequel series, Clorox! Yeah, that seems very fucking likely. Oh, I know, we do get the super special announcement that I probably should have mentioned to begin with, but no, the super special announcement for Bleach. Are you guys ready to hear this? Drum roll, please. Here we go. The super special awesome announcement for the Bleach fans out there is in 2018 we're gonna get a live action film. Yeah, 2018 live action film. This is the guy that's playing Ichigo. He looks cool. Good actor, I guess. I don't know. Don't really know a lot about Japanese actors. But I think a little bit of disappointment, maybe a little bit. Maybe it doesn't warrant the giant fucking page of, however, next week there's going to be a big announcement. No, Kubo, this isn't a big announcement. This is how that final page should have looked. Next chapter! Final chapter of Bleach! And then maybe a little blurb at the bottom like, oh, by the way, there'll be a minor announcement. A announcement. Not a huge announcement. Okay, that's cock teasing us, okay? When you put huge announcement, everybody's either thinking anime's coming back or manga continuation. Those are the only two things the Bleach fandom would be happy with when you say huge announcement. This was actually mentioned, or at least thrown out a while back. Back in 2012, I believe, there was talks of a live-action Bleach movie, only it was with American actors. I don't think that went anywhere, by the way. It didn't even ever get into pre-production or casting. I think that was just kind of a thing that, maybe they purchased the rights for it and it just kind of got put on a shelf. You'd be amazed of how many times that happens. Like, a big movie studio will, grab up a bunch of rights to things that might conceivably make money, and they just sit on the shelf for years and they just never go anywhere. But I did make a video about it, if I recall correctly. Let's watch a little bit of that video. Oh my god, I looked so fat back then. Yeah, this was back in the old Halcyon days. This is actually right around the time the Bleach anime ended, if I recall correctly. Oh look, it's Lucky! Oh, I miss that dog. What's going on with him these days? You were the best little beagle that ever walked across this earth, Lucky. I told you, motherfuckers, I would make you cry. Okay, so with that being said, we cut over to the Kurosaki Clinic, where we see Renji and Rukia arriving on the scene. Ichigo steps out sporting the Naruto haircut. I don't know why every shonen protagonist has to cut their hair really short when they get older. I, for one, enjoy my hair like this, and I don't really see myself changing that much in the next 4 years. Ichigo's 27, by the way, or I guess, you know, at most 28 years old. Depends on how much time passed between the Fullbringer arc and the Thousand Year Blood War arc. But I would say that was only maybe like a month or two. So yeah, he's 27. Not like it really matters anyway. Weird question though, is he still at home? That's the weird thing. We see Karin and Yuzu still there too. Karin and Yuzu should be 23. Ichigo's 27. We don't get to see Isshin in this chapter. So I don't know. I don't know if Isshin still lives there and they're just having a party there, or if Ichigo is still living there. I don't get it. Whatever. Anyway, Rukia and Renji arrive. They're taking a little bit of leave after, you know, Rukia was just made a new captain of the Gotei 13. Oh my god, I love her with the longer hair. It's so great. We'll be together forever. Okay, so Rukia mentions that it's kind of a ghost town, there's really not a lot of noise. Ichigo retorts with, you know, hey, this is an emergency clinic, so it's kind of a good thing that there's nobody around. Wait, no, okay, so it's still a clinic, so yeah, Isshin still has to work there. Okay, so I'm assuming that Isshin still works there, Yuzu and Karin are still living at home, maybe they're in college, and Ichigo and his, wife, who we will find out in a second. Oh, that's going to be a big shocker. Cast your vote now, who's Ichigo's wife. Oh, did I forget somebody in the list? No, I fucking didn't. That's the answer. Anyway, yeah, so Ichigo goes inside and finds out that everyone's there. You have Tatsuki, you have Keigo, you have Mizuru. We don't really get to find out what they were really up to in the past 10 years ever since school, but we can make some assumptions. Tatsuki, I think, is pretty easy to say. You know, she was already the kind of like the instructor at that dojo, so she probably runs her own dojo now. I feel bad for those kids that have to deal with that, but yeah, she's probably the head of a dojo, I would assume. Mizuru, you know, Mizuru is the kind of guy who you want to say, pick whatever profession that you would be the most shocked of Mizuru doing. That's probably the profession he's doing. So I'm going to say pimp. Mizuru Kojima is a pimp, bitch. Or maybe like the manager of a love hotel. Something provocative. I know he's got his hands in some sort of soups, you know? It's not like he works at the fucking office 9 to 5, alright? Mizuru's doing something weird. As for Keigo, you know, I feel like Keigo's sort of my blood brother, you know? He's this random, sporadic kid, always running up to people, always doing these random, crazy motions with his hands, getting really excitable. You know, that's me. That's me to a T. You know, I'll see somebody that I know walk into Dollar Tree and I'll strike a bunch of weird poses, and they just kind of accept that. That's just me. So, with that all being said, since we have so much in common, I'm going to say Keigo's a YouTube star. I'm going to say Keigo is way more popular than me. Keigo has like 5 million subscribers, and he gets on and he just does his rants, and they just got really crazy Keigo rants. They just got like crazy Keigo Wednesdays or something. They just really took off. He just gets on camera like, oh my god, guys, you won't believe what happened. This chick walked into my school today, and that's when I knew that a uniform could be a weapon. She had huge boobs that were literally spilling out, and then that just went viral, like, when it just went on from there. So, good job, Keigo. Good job, buddy. So we also get Ichigo's sisters that arrive here. We have Karin and Yuzu. They didn't change very much, except for, obviously, their heights and their hairstyles. Oh, Karin has tits now, so that's a thing, I guess. I don't know. That's, if you want to take one thing away from this final chapter of Bleach, one thing away that is any sort of, of any importance, really, Karin has boobs now. Okay, that's the thing you could take away. Well, actually, wait. Maybe one other thing involving Yuzu. One other thing involving Yuzu we're going to get to in just a little bit. But other than that, Karin has inherited Misaki's, genetics. Anyway, so, yeah, they appear in the room. I guess they're getting ready to watch a television program. Wayans presents the WBO World Heavyweight Title Matchup. Let's get ready to rumble! Fuck, I don't even care. Yeah, because wrestling and boxing. Boxing's always been a really big staple in the Bleach universe. Like that time that, there was that one cover page, it was in color, where Chad was training, and he was punching a bag. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments in the Bleach series, actually. But no, of course, obviously, they're gonna watch the World Heavyweight title match. Of course, no, it's Yasutaro Sato who's taking on the World Heavyweight Championship against Adonis Creed, who's gonna come out the winner here. So yeah, Chad is now a world-famous boxer. You know, that would have made a lot more... I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, of course it does. You know, Chad's always been a pretty beefy guy, but... You know, if he had any sort of interest in boxing throughout the series, there's never been a connection with it, except for that title page I told you about. You know, Chad's never been walking around like, yeah, I got a boxing match tonight, or, you know, I got to train for boxing. You know, he's never mentioned it before. I mean, he looks like the kind of guy that would be into it, but we never had any, you know, explicit connection. You know, I mean, Ichigo being a professional soccer player, I'm sorry, football, would have at least made more sense at this point. That's all I'm saying. Also, by the way, I mean, look, Chad is one of the weaker tier members of the Bleach series. That's like that's obvious, right? That's obvious to everyone watching this right now. Yeah, Chad's pretty weak sauce. But when you compare him to, like, a regular human being, Chad might as well be fucking Saitama. You know what I mean? Like, he could seriously end any single punch with just a normal human. Just one punch, that's all it would take. You know, the training he's had to do. So, Chad's kind of a fucking cheater, if I have to say so myself. Either that or he's letting his opponents win. So, I guess not if he's made it to the World Heavyweight Championship. Whatever, you gotta pay the bills somehow. I wonder if Chad got married. Who would have Chad gotten married to? You know what? Controversial judgment call. Mila Rose. Yeah. Let's go with that. Okay, so then we cut over to the top of Karakura Hospital where we see Uryu there. Oh, no, Dr. Ishida, MD. Dun 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 dun. No, okay. Well, hey, at least this was set up, unlike Chad's boxing career, spontaneously. You know, this was actually set up, you know, that Uryu said, I don't want to be a doctor because of Ryukin, and he saw him, you know, mutilating Katagiri's corpse, but, you know, after he figured out that wasn't, you know, Ryukin fucking with Katagiri just to do it, you know, after he found out it was to salvage the still silver, he probably put that on the back burner. He's like, all right, now I can train to become a doctor. So, yeah, he's on top of the roof, and he's listening to Chad's match on his iPhone. Keep in mind, it's only still, like, 2013 in the Bleach universe, because I think it was, like, 2001 when it started, and then 2003 with the time skip, and now, yeah, about 2013, 2014, so it's still the future for us. So, anyway, we cut back over, and, of course, we see Ichigo's wife enter the fray. It's Orihime. I know, every Ichirukia fan, you can put down the gun, but, whoa, holy shit, no, you actually put down the gun! Oh my god, please don't do it! Please, your life has meaning! It's okay! It's okay. I'm upset by it too, man, but we can move on past this. I care about you, I really do. Orihime and Ichigo fucked! I just want to keep that, just gonna rip that band-aid off right now. She appears, she's wearing an apron, you know, it's whatever, you know, my expectations are about here at this point. You can't see them. They're around my, you know, non-existent pants right now, so, yeah. Alright, well, anyway, they have a kid, and his name is Kazui. Ichigo has a son named Kazui Kurosaki. Okay, fine, whatever. And apparently they don't know where he is. He's wandering around the house somewhere. And Orihime says, oh, he must be in Ichigo's old room because he loves going up there. However, it's not Ichigo's old room anymore. It's now Yuzu's room because I guess she's still living at home. And this is where we get to the weird point in this chapter. So Yuzu says, oh, it's okay. Kazui can go where he pleases. I don't care. To which Karin retorts, oh, so Kazui gets a free pass in going into your room, just like Ichigo does. And then the reaction that Yuzu has is embarrassment. She begins to blush, and she begins to pinch Karin's cheek like, shut up, Karin! Ichigo, my big brother, going into my room? So scandalous! It's hot as fuck in this room right now, and apparently it's hot as fuck in Yuzu's pants, but Yuzu, do you want to fuck your brother? Like, I don't get this. Like, I've been looking into it a little bit, into the series, and, yeah, I mean, there's a few moments where it looks like she's kind of into her older brother, and this is just weird, because it's like Ichigo's son is in her room. Okay, you're both family, it shouldn't fucking matter. And then Yuzu says as much. She says, oh, it's okay, it's fine, he can go wherever he wants. Alright, cool. And then Karin says it would be like, as if it would be weird for Ichigo to go into her room. As if she knows something. And then Yuzu gets really fucking flustered. Like, I can't let anyone know that Ichigo's allowed in my... Like, your brother and sister. I mean, I don't have a brother or a sister. I'm an only child, so... Maybe it's unusual for your... I mean, my dad has a sister. She visits his house. It's not weird for her to go into his room. Like, is that weird? Like, it shouldn't be. Fuck it. Incest is wincest. Concluded. I'm not doting on this for a long time. That's just the case. All right, anyway. Ichigo then brings up, wait a second, didn't Renji and Rukia bring their kid over? Renji and Rukia fucked! Renji and Rukia fucked, so... Have that mental image in your head also. Just throw that in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Right there. Almost. Almost. Bankai!
Oh my god, it is frozen solid! My dick is frozen!
Okay, just calm down.
Do I pull it out?
No, do not pull it out, Okay, hold on, I'll call Momo. She's a fire type, she can melt it.
Oh, melt shit, she's gonna blow my dick off!
You don't know that.
Yes, I do!
Well, what else would you have me do at this moment, Renji? I didn't exactly plan for this.
Oh, you didn't plan for this. Yeah, you just have an ice Bankai. This thought never occurred to you.
Okay, fine, yeah, whatever. But what do you want to do about this, Renji? Because I can tell you in a few seconds you're gonna have some serious nerve damage.
Fine, call Momo.
That's what I thought.
Oh, well, that was a legitimately accurate thing that could have possibly happened. Probably should cut away to something happy now. Oh, I made a cake! Yeah! Last chapter of Bleach, I made a cake because it's happy, because it's over. It's cake and... I'm so good. I'm so happy right now. You can't be sad with cake! Right, so Rukia then checks to see where her daughter is when she discovers that she's not around. She also states that she's a Gotei apprentice, so, I mean, that's pretty cool. Renji and Rukia, teaching their daughter to become, the next generation, probably the next captain of the Soul Society. I can dig it. Anyway, apparently she's gone, though, and Ichigo freaks out by this. Like, oh, you're so cavalier by the fact that your daughter, who is a child and yet has access to a Zanpakuto, is missing. That's so cavalier of you, Rukia. Rukia's retort to this is, oh, don't worry. She's a Shinigami. With mere humans as her opponents, she should come out on top. Oh, damn, Rukia, you fucking cold-blooded, bitch! You basically just implied that, yeah, if any humans give my daughter problems, she'll be able to kill them with her fucking sword. Or at least mutilate them severely. That's what you meant. I still love you. Right, so then we cut over to Yuzu's bedroom, formerly Ichigo's bedroom, where we see Kazui. Oh, God, the eye. Oh, I just got it. Ichigo's hair, Orihime's eyes. Those big fucking eyes. That's why I don't like them that much. Okay, I mean, the kid himself is, I guess, adorable, but just the eyes. Right, so he witnesses that there's a little speck of Yhwach's Ryatsu coming out of the wall. And, we cut over back to the Seirete. There's kind of the same thing going on here in two different places. Cut over to the Seirete, where we see the shadow erupting. Byakuya and Lisa, get ready to, endure the attack or figure out what the fuck to do here. They're all getting ready. And then, at the same time, Kazui reaches in and places his hand inside of the hole, which causes the shadow to disperse, and the last remnants of Yhwach's power completely vanish. Okay, we're good. What did you expect to happen? What did you expect? Yhwach to come back? Nah, that wasn't how this was gonna go down. This is the storybook ending that we deserved. Happily ever fucking after, right? Anyway, yeah, so from what I can gather, I don't even know, I guess, Kazui has Ichigo's Ryatsu, so when he came in contact with Yhwach's Ryatsu, it resonated, and because Ichigo defeated Yhwach, who gives a fuck? Who cares? The kid stuck his finger in a wall socket, and that somehow destroyed the root of all fucking evil in the Quincy Christ figure. I can't explain this shit. You can go ahead and try, but I don't care. Right, so after this, we then cut away, I guess it's back in Muken here, where we see Aizen. Aizen is once again restrained in the lowest level of the Shinigami prison. He's, chained to the pillar. He's got the fucking thing stabbing him again. I don't know why Aizen, the last time we saw Aizen, he was, washed away by the Ryatsu. So, I don't know, maybe he was rendered unconscious or something, and that gave everyone the ample time to grab him and throw him back into prison. You think he could have at least gotten, a fucking leave for that? Look at all the shit Sasuke did, and by the end of the story, it's just yeah, well, you were kind of integral for defeating Kaguya, so you get a pardon. Aizen don't get shit. Aizen's we heard you helped defeat Yuha Bach, the guy that kicked all our asses, and leveled the Serete, and pretty much killed God. Yep, I did. Well, that was nice of you. Now get back in fucking prison. The anal rape's gonna be intense tonight, Aizen. Yeah, I don't think anyone that tries to anal rape Aizen, I don't think that's gonna end well for the opposite party. Anyway, yeah, so he's back in prison, which I'm guessing maybe he wants to be there, because Aizen at this point, if he wanted to just leave, he could have fucking done so. Could he have not? Could he have just been fuck it, I don't want to go back to prison, I'm not bound to the chair anymore, I'm out of here, bitches. And, you never would have heard from him again. Honestly, he could have tried to take over the world, he never would have fucking dealt with it again. But no, he's back in prison, and some people have been saying, actually, that Aizen's the new Soul King, and then this is his position. You know what, once again, it's the end of the series, make whatever fucking conclusion you want. We still have no answers as to who the freaking new Soul King is at this point, along with several other plot points. Actually, let's get a counter on that. What are the plot points in the series that haven't been answered in this final chapter now? Oh, jeez, man, why did I even say that? Look, I'm gonna go get more cake. Okay, so moving on. Aizen continues the flashback. We see Ichigo cutting down Yhwach at the end of, not last chapter, but the chapter before that, last chapter before the time skip. Here's what Yhwach's master plan was. You ready for this? Okay, so Ichigo cuts him in half, and Yhwach starts saying, "It's closed, Ichigo! The path to a world without fear!" Interesting that you would say that, Yhwach, considering you literally created a Sternritter that was the embodiment of fear, whatever. Anyway, the whole deal with Yhwach, remember back when Askin, do I still have him up here? Yeah, okay. Remember back when Askin was fighting against Uehara, and he was I'm interested in His Majesty because he's trying to destroy Huecamundo, Living World, and Soul Society, and he wants to make a whole new world, and that's what Yuha's goal was, to pretty much meld life and death together into one form of existence, one plane, where death didn't exist, and the people that lived there would never be afraid of death, because it was I don't know if he's implying, I guess he is implying that everyone would be immortal. What the fuck does that mean? You're born, and then you live forever, and then you can just keep having babies? That's a little bit of an overpopulation problem, but maybe it's just maybe it's a new form of existence altogether. No birth, no death, no sex, no nothing. It's just, you're a new, completely different species in this immortal world. I don't know, it's fucking weird, but yeah, that's basically what Yhwach was trying to do, and now that Ichigo and Uryu and Aizen have defeated him, that path has been closed forever, and Yhwach tries to take the fucking high ground. At the last minute before he disintegrates, he tries to take "It's your fault, Ichigo. Because of you, everyone will now live day by day, fearing death." Oh no! Human beings afraid of death? We've never had to deal with that before. Yeah, in the thousands, hundreds of thousands of years of human existence, we've never lived in fear of death, and we've never figured out a way to cope with that. Oh wait, we kind of did, because that's the whole reason our society fucking exists at all. If we became consumed by the fear of death, then I don't think society would really progress that far. We'd still be a bunch of fucking monkeys sitting in the ditch throwing our shit at each other, quivering in fear at what the night will come. But no, humans don't say, we don't get beaten down that easily. We get back up and we fucking build shit. And most of the time start wars. Mostly wars. But mostly we also progress thing after the wars, okay? Yeah. And also, by the way, you know what the fucking hilarious thing here with Yhwach that just makes no sense? He's like, humans will live every day in fear. It's is Yhwach trying to take, I was the good guy all along. I wanted to get rid of the fear of death. Okay. By the way, imagine if you lived in a world without death. I don't imagine that being a fucking utopia like what Yhwach is spouting off here. I see that being fucking anarchy, fucking chaos, if all of a sudden it's just oh, nobody can die now. Yeah, watch Torchwood Miracle Day. That's a perfect fucking sum up. But also, it doesn't make any sense in the context of the Bleach universe because I'm using examples from our world that we live in. But in the Bleach universe, it's a little different. You know why? Because there's a thing called reincarnation, and in the context of the Bleach universe, it is fucking real. It is fact. You die, you live as a human, and then you die, and then you go to the Soul Society, or you go to hell, but that place is never mentioned at all, so who gives a shit about hell? Go fuck hell. Go to hell. And then after that, after you go to the Soul Society, and you live in the Soul Society for, I don't know, 100 years or 1,000 years, or whatever the hell, you die, and then you go back to the world of living. There's still a little bit of an issue because, you know, you'd live for way longer in the Soul Society than you would in the world of living, and that would be kind of like an imbalance of souls, but whatever, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, yeah, I mean, reincarnation is a thing. You don't just die and go into an empty void and then float forever, you know, and your consciousness just, you know, eradicates and you never come back, you know? Like, I'm an atheist, that's what I believe in, but, I mean, that's not the case in the Bleach universe. You don't live in some void. You know, you die, and then you come back, and then you die, and then you come back. And I mean, yeah, humans aren't aware of that. We aren't aware of, like, oh, when we die, you go and you're reincarnated, but that's what happens. So Yhwach, the whole thing you're trying to scrap together at the last minute here, this is the reason I'm doing this shit, it is bullshit. Bullshit. Okay, did I mention bullshit? Because it's bullshit. Alright, so, with that last words being said, oh my god, Yhwach has a very prominent nose, whatever. He then disintegrates finally, and then Ichigo's just looking on very confidently, just like, fuck yeah, bitch, I kicked your ass, whatever. Alright, so we cut back to Aizen, who's in Muken. And he just goes on a spiel about how, you know, humans will always conquer fear through themselves, and they'll keep on living, and they'll keep on expanding, and that's what they do. It seems Aizen's has a little bit of a change of heart since the last time, you know, they encountered Ichigo. His whole, you know, I want to take over the world shit. It seems he's changing his ways a little bit, which is nice, I guess. Better not be going soft on us, Aizen, but other than that, it's a pretty cool moment. That is why people have given that very march a unique and special name. Courage. It's very profound, Aizen. Very deep, very meaningful. You want to go Bankai? I know, I'm sorry, I know we're not going to get it, but Aizen, you just want to be there in Muken and just be like, yeah, courage, that's what moves the humans on forward. I suddenly have an urge to go Bankai. Alright, Bankai, you know, okay, at least we know. At least we fucking know. Alright, so, last scene of the Bleach series. Yeah. I can't, I'm sorry. Last scene of the chapter. I can't deal with that. Just denial, Matt. Just shove it down. It's cool. It won't hit me right now. Give it about a week or a month or 2 months, and then it's finally gonna hit. Same with Naruto. You know, when Naruto, I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of Naruto by the time it ended, but when Naruto ended, I wasn't sitting there like, yep, it's gone, whatever. But after about like a month or so, I was like, huh, it's really weird not reading Naruto on a weekly basis anymore. That's gonna be getting some used to. Well, here we are now. So we cut back over to the Kurosaki Clinic inside Yuzu's room. The hole that Yhwach had as Ryatsu that, you know, Kazui stuck his finger in, the Ryatsu's gone, but the hole is still there. And out from the hole emerges Barai Ichika! Oh, I get it, because Ichigo, that's so adorable. That's the last Hail Mary for the Ichirukia fans right there. Okay, we didn't get the Ichigo-Rukia sex scene by the beach at the sunset with a couple of stallions in the background while a porn director off to the side is filming it, and a blimp that, you know, that's over them that says, Orihime sucks. That's the way I wanted it to go out. But we get the fact that Rukia named her daughter after Ichigo, so there's that, I suppose. I can deal with that, I guess. Barai Ichika, a Shinigami apprentice. Alright, so that's pretty cool. She's got Rukia's face and Renji's hair. Her Zanpakuto is reminiscent of Renji's tattoos. It's got like the lightning bolt mark on it, considering we didn't get really any lightning-based sword other than Chojiro. I'm gonna say, fuck it, Ichika's Zanpakuto's, even if she hasn't awakened yet, is going to be lightning Zanpakuto. There we go, let's go with that, I suppose. And then we get to the last page and the title page where she asks Kazui, and who are you? Oh, me? I'm Kurosaki Kazui. I'm kind of a Shinigami too. And the kid just manifests the fucking Shinigami outfit. No badge, no body behind him, just kind of, he kind of does it similar to Fullbring. You know what? Once again, fuck it, I don't care. Kid can just transform into Shinigami at will, whatever, it's Fullbring. It's a, you know, Ichigo and Orihime, fuck whatever, it crossed Fullbring and Shinigami power, he can just, boom, Shinigami whenever I want. Although you do get points, Kubo, for doing the mini Tensuzangetsu on the kid's back. That's pretty cute. You get points for that. Also points that he has, like he was wearing like a hoodie beforehand, and then when he went into Shinigami form, the hoodie's still there. That's kind of cool. This kid must be only like, I don't know, 3 years old at best. But anyway, yeah, he's like, I'm Kurosaki Kazui, and I'm kind of a Shinigami too. Which leads us, ladies and gentlemen, into the final panels of the Bleach series. Now, I assumed it was going to be like, you know, the big white page that's like the end. But no, we get something far better than that. What? Death in the Strawberry. Okay, it's over. Later, guys. And then Kubo just shuts the fucking door behind his studio like, boom, it's over. Bye, I'm done. Jeez. And that's it. I know that seems like a lackluster ending. I didn't build it up like really dramatic, like I usually do, but there's really nothing to be dramatic about. It ends with the most, like, random... We don't even get, like, a proper, like, page with, like, the end on it. It's just... What? 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 Actually, that's a perfect impression of every single Bleach fan that read this chapter. I almost burped, but I didn't. It is. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, that was my reaction when I first read it. Yeah. It was like, what? We're doing this? Okay, fine. Whatever. I mean, I can't say I don't care. Of course I care, but, you know, whatever. It seems like... I mean, this wasn't even that much longer of a chapter than normal. I mean, it was longer, I think, than a normal chapter, maybe by, like, a page or two, but, you know, we could have gotten, like, I don't know, 40 pages like Naruto. At least, Shonen Jump, at least give us that much, damn. Did you even see the cover for this week's Shonen Jump? You'd think because this is the last chapter of Bleach, you'd think, like, I don't know, Bleach would be on the cover of the fucking magazine. But no, it isn't. It's like crammed in the fucking corner. I'm like, really? Shonen Jump really hated the shit out of this, or it was really trying to just like, okay, it's over, get done with it, it's over, okay, moving on to this new series. It's called Red Stinger. It's gonna blow you away. Well, let's hope it does. Okay, well, that's all I have to say about the chapter itself. So let's just go through a brief rundown here, okay. Ichigo had a kid, Rukia and Renji had a kid, Yuzu wants to fuck her brother, Karin has big tits. That's about it. That pretty much sums up everything. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's all. I mean, I wish I could say more. I wish I could sit here and keep on talking to you guys. But the journey's over. C'est la vie. Hasta la vista, baby. I don't know. You know what, though? I'll say one thing before I go. It's very obvious that this is not the ending Kubo intended, right? You know, like, it's something he maybe came up with within the past couple of weeks or months to just satiate Shonen Jump. It's what he had to do. No use complaining about it. But you know what? If that's the case, I'm gonna craft my own ending for this series. That's right. We're making it canon right now. I hereby decree, by Tekking101 logic, that Kazui is not, in fact, the son of Orihime and Ichigo. He is the son of Ichigo and Rukia! Wahahaha! I win the day! Yes! Ha! Do you ever get the feeling like something really bad's about to... Reality's falling apart at the seams! Okay, look, I'm sorry, guys. I know you probably all had really bright futures you were looking forward to, but they all kind of had to go crashing down into a void of nothingness because of one white pasty kid living in the United States that had an Ichirukia obsession that just went a little bit too far. I'm sorry, but before I fade into nothingness, I should probably say one thing. I love you all! Seriously, you made me! If it wasn't for you, I would have just stayed some pathetic, shy kid that sat in the back of the room reading manga and was really antisocial. I shudder to think what my life would have been like without YouTube, but you really changed it for the better. So I appreciate every single subscriber, every like, every comment that you ever made. Except for that one troll. Aside from that, I love you all to death. And I really wish we could have gotten to get to know each other. Maybe go out for a nice dinner. Maybe we could eventually get married. I don't know. But all that has to be kind of put on the back burner because I'm pretty sure all of life that we know it is now going to be, I don't know, compressed into a singularity. And beyond that point, I don't know. I don't know what's going to be on the other side of the gate, guys. But for right now, this will be Tekking101 signing out!
What a long dream. YouTube, huh? Why the fuck would I do something like that? Look at you, pasty white kid. No one's gonna want to talk to you about Bleach. That shit's not even popular anymore. It's not like I don't have a nice job already. Sure, the chance of me making me famous is really low compared to YouTube, but who knows? Maybe one day that fucking evil door will just blast open and I'll forever be known as the hero who saved the world from demons. Or maybe I'll just review a series about superheroes or some shit. Who's to say?